In the heart of every city, there are places that transcend their physical boundaries, becoming sanctuaries of inspiration and connection. The Daily Grind is one such place. At first glance, it's a humble coffee shop, a purveyor of caffeine and pastries. But step inside, and you'll feel it an alchemy that transforms the ordinary into the extraordinary. The air is thick with the aroma of freshly roasted beans, but there's something more, an intangible scent of potential. The Daily Grind isn't just about pouring coffee, it's about fueling the sparks of imagination and the whispers of romance. It's an accidental incubator, a common ground where solitary dreams and unexpected encounters tentatively reach out and find connection. Take Maya, for instance. Most afternoons, you'd find her tucked into the corner booth, laptop open, screen stubbornly blank. A writer wrestling with words that refused to flow, she sought inspiration in the passing crowd outside the window. The coffee beside her wasn't just a drink, it was a ritual, a reason to be somewhere other than facing the intimidating emptiness of the page alone. The cafe was her office, her refuge, her silent collaborator that asked nothing, but offered the comforting presence of shared, quiet industry. Then there was Ben. Often perched on a stool by the counter, sketchbook perpetually open, pencil flying across the page. A graphic designer and illustrator, he captured snippets of cafe life, experimented with logos for businesses that didn't exist yet, and chased visual ideas that flickered at the edge of his mind. He worked freelance, mostly from home, but the isolation could be crushing. Here, surrounded by the gentle buzz of strangers, his own creativity seemed to breathe easier, feeding off the ambient energy. For weeks, maybe months, they existed in parallel orbits, two creatives navigating their own solitary paths, separated by a few feet of worn floorboards and unspoken intentions. Maya would see Ben lost in his sketches, admire his focus, and wonder about the stories behind his art. Ben would notice Maya's determined frown, the occasional sigh of frustration escaping her lips, and find himself curious about the words she struggled to write. Silent acknowledgements in a shared space, each stealing glances, each feeling a subtle, unspoken pull. The catalyst, when it came, wasn't dramatic. No spilled lattes, no grand pronouncements. Just a shared moment of vulnerability. Maya, head in her hands, groaning softly at her stubborn cursor. Ben, packing up his things, noticing her struggle. On impulse, he quickly sketched a tiny, encouraging creature on a spare napkin, a determined-looking coffee bean with wings, and slid it onto her table as he left, offering only a brief, shy smile before disappearing out the door. Maya found it moments later. A simple doodle. An unexpected flicker of understanding from a stranger. It broke through her frustration, sparked a flicker of warmth, and left her wondering about the artist behind the gesture. The next day, she scanned the cafe, found Ben sketching again, and approached him, napkin in hand. "This was you?" she asked, her voice soft but curious, her eyes meeting his with a mix of gratitude and intrigue. That simple question opened the door. They talked about creative blocks, about impossible clients, about the terrifying thrill of trying to make something out of nothing. But there was more, a spark, a connection that went beyond shared struggles. He showed her his sketches, she read him a paragraph she was proud of. The shared language of creation bridged the gap between words and images, and something more began to bloom. Soon, they were meeting intentionally. The corner booth became their booth. Maya's words found new energy paired with Ben's visual interpretations. Ben's designs gained depth informed by Maya's narratives. Notebooks filled with scribbled ideas lay open next to glowing laptop screens. Napkins became impromptu canvases for collaborative brainstorming. Ideas bounced back and forth, fueled by caffeine and the thrill of shared passion. The daily grind wasn't just a meeting place. It was the crucible where their individual sparks combined into a collaborative flame, and where a quiet romance began to unfold. Their conversations deepened, filled with laughter and shared dreams. They found themselves staying later, the cafe lights dimming around them, the world outside fading away. The scent of coffee and the hum of the espresso machine became the backdrop to their growing connection. They would catch each other's gaze, hold it a moment too long, and feel the unspoken promise of something more. And they weren't the only ones. Look closely, and you'd see the musician in the window seat, lyrics forming between sips of Americano, his eyes meeting those of the barista with a soft smile. You'd overhear the hushed, excited planning of two aspiring entrepreneurs mapping out their sustainable startup on the back of receipts, their hands brushing as they passed the pen back and forth. The cafe breathed creativity and romance. It offered not just Wi-Fi and warmth, but permission to dream, to struggle, to try, and crucially, to connect. For Maya and Ben, their collaboration, born over countless coffees at that corner booth, eventually became a beautifully illustrated children's book, published, real, held in their hands. A tangible dream realized. But more than that, it became a testament to their journey, to the quiet moments and shared glances that had grown into something beautiful and profound. They launched it, naturally, right there at the daily grind, surrounded by the familiar scent of coffee and the supportive hum of the community that had watched their idea and their love grow. So yes, come for the coffee. It's excellent. But stay for the atmosphere. Stay for the possibility. Because here, in this unassuming local spot, you might just witness the quiet miracle of creation and romance unfolding. Proof that sometimes, all it takes is a comfortable chair, a decent cup of coffee, and the courage to share a dream, to launch something truly outstanding into the world.